A bank doesn't know you. Not your job, not your discipline, not how careful you are with money. Yet, within seconds, a bank can decide whether to lend you $20,000 for a car, $200,000 for a house, or absolutely nothing. And the decision often comes down to one number. 3 digits, somewhere between 300 and 850. Your FICO score. It quietly sits behind almost every major financial decision in the United States. Loans, credit cards, mortgages, apartment applications, sometimes even job screenings. But here's the strange part. Most people know their score, yet almost nobody truly understands how that number is calculated. They treat it like a mysterious grade, check it, celebrate when it rises, panic when it falls, without ever seeing the system behind it. So the real question isn't, what is your credit score? The real question is much more interesting. What exactly is the system measuring? Most people believe the FICO score measures how wealthy you are. That assumption sounds logical. More money should mean a better score. But that's not how the system works. A person earning $50,000 a year can have an excellent credit score. Meanwhile, someone earning $500,000 a year can have a terrible one. Income is not part of the formula. Savings are not part of the formula. Even your bank balance is invisible to the system, which leads to a strange reality. Two people can look financially identical on the outside, yet the system sees them completely differently. One gets approved instantly, the other gets rejected, not because of how much money they have, but because of how predictable their financial behavior appears to be. The FICO score is not measuring wealth, it's measuring risk. Specifically one question. If we lend this person money, how likely are they to pay it back on time? Everything inside the FICO formula exists to answer that single question. To answer that question, the FICO system analyzes 5 categories of behavior. Each category has a different level of importance. Payment history, credit utilization, length of credit history, credit mix, and new credit inquiries. But the system isn't balanced equally. Some signals matter far more than others. Payment history alone accounts for roughly 35% of the score. Utilization accounts for around 30%. Together they make up the majority of the entire model, which means the score is largely determined by 2 things. Do you pay your debts on time? And how much of your credit are you using? Everything else still matters, but these 2 behaviors dominate the calculation. This is where the system becomes surprisingly revealing, because it doesn't reward spending, it rewards restraint. Someone with access to $10,000 of credit who only uses $500 appears safer than someone using $9,000, even if both pay their bills. Why? Because high utilization signals financial pressure, and pressure increases risk, which means the credit system is constantly searching for subtle patterns of stress. To understand the FICO score properly, it helps to break the system into its 5 signals. Each one tells lenders something different about you. First, payment history. This is the foundation. Every time you make a payment on time, a small positive signal is recorded. Every missed payment sends a much louder negative signal. And here's the uncomfortable math. A single missed payment can stay on your credit report for 7 years. 7 years of history, affected by one mistake. The system values consistency above everything else. Second, credit utilization. This measures how much of your available credit you are using. If your total credit limit across all cards is $10,000 and you are currently using $5,000, your utilization is 50%. That number matters, because lenders interpret high usage as potential financial strain. Most experts recommend staying below 30% utilization. Below 10% often looks even better. The irony is clear. The people who look safest to lenders are often the ones barely using credit. Third, length of credit history. The system rewards longevity. Older accounts increase stability. If your oldest credit account is 10 years old, lenders see a long track record. If your oldest account is 6 months old, the system sees uncertainty, which is why closing old credit cards can sometimes hurt your score. Not because the card was bad, but because it shortened your financial timeline. Fourth, credit mix. This factor examines the types of credit you use. Credit cards, auto loans, mortgages, student loans. A variety of credit types suggests you can manage different forms of debt responsibly. But this factor carries far less weight than payment history or utilization. It's more of a supporting signal than a core one. Fifth, new credit inquiries. Every time you apply for credit, lenders perform what's called a hard inquiry. A few inquiries are normal, but many inquiries within a short period can suggest financial stress. So the system temporarily lowers your score when too many applications appear too quickly. Not permanently, but enough to slow down aggressive credit-seeking behavior. Now imagine two people entering the credit system. Person A, person B. Both have similar incomes. Both have access to credit cards. But their behavior looks very different. Person A has a $10,000 credit limit. They usually keep their balances around $500. Their utilization stays around 5%. Every payment is on time. They've had their oldest card for 8 years. They rarely apply for new credit. From the system's perspective, this person looks extremely predictable, very little risk. Person B looks different. They also have a $10,000 limit, but they regularly carry balances around $8,000. Utilization stays near 80%. Payments are sometimes late. They open several new credit cards within a short period. From the outside, both individuals might earn similar incomes, but inside the FICO system, their risk profiles are completely different. Person A might have a score above 760. Person B might struggle to stay above 600. Same income, same credit access, different patterns. And in the credit system, patterns are everything. The FICO score is not a measure of wealth. It's a measurement of behavior. Quiet financial habits recorded month after month. Did you pay on time? How much credit did you use? How long have you been using it? How many accounts did you open recently? Small signals, repeated consistently. And over time, those signals combine into a single 3-digit reputation. A number powerful enough to influence mortgages, car loans, credit cards, and housing applications. Which leads to an interesting realization. The credit system doesn't reward dramatic financial moves. It rewards boring consistency, small balances, perfect payments, long timelines, a reputation built slowly, almost invisibly. And once you understand the mechanism, the mystery disappears. But that understanding raises a deeper question. If such an influential financial system is built on a few simple behavioral signals, why do so many people spend years interacting with it without ever learning the rules?